Hello, Assalamualaikum. Very good day to everyone. Welcome back to our subject EPTV 1143 Play in Early Childhood Education. So, this week we will be looking at Unit 3, which is Types and Stages of Play. So, first things first, let's look at the learning outcome. So, you all are expected to be able to first describe the stages of children's social play, second to explain the developmental progression of play behavior, thirdly for you to identify appropriate play experiences that support children's social development. Okay, so in this unit we will look at different types of play in young children. Okay, so first one is the unoccupied play. So unoccupied play. Okay, it is basically the first stage of a social play. So children at this stage, okay, usually are not playing the way that we usually expect children to play. Okay, instead in this stage, usually they're just started to get to know their surrounding, to get to know the world around them. Okay, so what they will do usually just moving their body, okay, watching what is happening around them. All right, which we usually sees in we usually see mostly in babies. Okay, so how does unoccupied play looks like? Okay, just like I mentioned just now, we usually see this in babies. Okay, so they will just move their arm, move their legs. Okay, or they could probably play with a toys as well. However, their play it's without clear purpose. Okay, they may watch people or object around them. Okay, basically they has no specific goal in their play. Okay, it's more like exploring with their senses, seeing, hearing, touching. Okay, or testing. Okay, so for example, when a baby wave their hand or kick their legs, okay, basically they are exploring their body movement. Okay, they just get to know that they have all the limbs, all the body parts. Okay, or watching a toy move or crawling around the room. Okay, so these are also some of example of unoccupied play. Okay, so this basic stage of play, in this stage of play, it helps baby in several ways actually. Okay, it supports the children's sensory development, because we know sensory is how babies learn. Okay, it helps them with their body awareness and the development of their gross motor skill, which are big movement like crawling, okay, or rolling or waving. All right, okay. But on top of that, unoccupied is actually encouraging for their natural curiosity about their surrounding or their world, which is very important for their development. Okay, and then moving on to the second stage of play, which is solitary play. So, solitary play is also when the child play alone. Okay, they're not playing with other kids at this time still. Okay, which is completely normal for a toddler. Basically, in this stage, that child really focus on what they are doing by themselves. Okay, they might not even notice what are the other children are doing around them because they are basically busy on their own choices and on their own toys and on their own play. Okay, for example of a solitary play, include building blocks or drawing picture or even reading a book. So this activity is clearly showing us that children are doing something with a purpose. Okay, so even though they are playing alone, but this activity can also help children with their important skills. Okay, they can become more independent. Okay, if they be able to master this solitary play. Okay, and they can get better as in focusing, okay, on one thing at a time. Okay, they also can grow their creativity and learn to solve a simple problem on their own. Basically, it fosters for their independence. Okay, so let's remember, solitary play it's also an important part of a growing up and learning. So no need to worry if the child is play alone, because it's a part of a way it is also be able to nurture the children independence abilities. Okay, moving on to onlooker play. Okay, so onlooker play happens when the children watch other kids play without actually joining into that play. Okay, so in this stage, basically they learn by watching and listening to what's happening around them. Okay, so these are some of the key things that we can notice about onlooker play. Right? So what happened during this onlooker stage? Right? They watch others. Okay, they spend their time observing how the other children play. Okay, and probably they will ask question because they might be curious, okay, on what is going on, and sometimes they probably will make comments. Okay, they might say something about the play they are watching. Okay, all right. So um, this type of play, okay, also can help children develop their important skills. Okay, for example, their observation skill, whereby they will watch what the other friends are doing. Okay, and although they are not joining in to the other group, but communication skill can also be developed. Right, they will talk about what they see, and probably they will ask question. Okay, and social understanding can also be developed. Okay, because they try to figure out about the other people. Okay, how the people interact, how they play together, and although they're not joining in, but it can gradually help to build their confidence. Okay, they can gain the courage to actually eventually to join in with the other group of kids that is playing. Okay, so by understanding this onlooker play, we'll be able to see how children start learning and understand about the world around them. Okay, so all of this happen just by being present and attentive. Okay, moving on to parallel play. Okay, so parallel play basically, as the name says lah, okay, this is the type of play where children play next to one another, parallel. Okay, they probably use a similar toys, but they don't really talk much or play or share together. Okay, so you can imagine two kids, right, sitting side by side. Okay, each of them are playing the same toys, probably building blocks. Okay, but they will build their own block tower. Okay, they might be looking to each other, might be looking towards each other. Okay, use the same block, but they aren't building the same tower together. They are building their own. Okay, so this kind of play can actually help children in many ways as well. All right, so it can help them become more aware of people around them. Okay, and also can build their confidence and help them to talk and copy what they see. Okay, all right, then we go to associative play. Okay, so associative play, it's a step where children start to interact more with each other. They associate. Okay, so in this type of play, they share toys, they talk. Okay, but probably in this stage, although they're sharing toys, they talk, but each of them still play with their own goals in mind. Each of them have their own goals in mind. Okay, so probably they may use the same play doh, talk about what they're making, but each of them are actually making a different things. Okay, so associated play also can help children in many ways. Okay, for example, children will learn to share, to cooperate, and also making friends. Yeah, and then finally, cooperative way. Okay, so cooperative way is the highest stage of a play whereby children will learn to play together as a team. Okay, so means that they all together will work towards a common goal, towards a same goal. Okay, like building something together or putting on a show. All right. So one of the important things about cooperative play is that it involves teamwork. Okay, they share the same ideas and they will work towards the same task to reach the same goal. Okay, and then secondly, they will set roles. Okay, probably each of the child in their group will have a part for them to take control, to play. Okay, for example, if they were to play pretend in a restaurant, might probably one child will become the cook, one will become the server, and some will become the guest, the customer. Okay, and probably during the role play, okay, there will be a problem arise. Okay, so something goes wrong. Okay, they will figure out the problem as a team. Okay, all right. So a cooperative play, okay, is also an important steps on how children can learn to interact with each other. Okay, now let's look at the developmental progression of play behavior. Okay, so as we all can see, okay, children move through different play stages as they grow and learn. Okay, so from the very beginning slides just now we can see it started with unoccupied play, which happened usually at infant age. Okay, and then it moves to solitary, onlooker, parallel, associated, and then finally cooperative. Okay, so it is very important for us to remember a few key points about this development. Okay, first, development is gradual. It happened little by little. Each child will grow at their own pace. They might move back and forth between these stages depending on factors like the types of activity, who they are playing with, okay, and how confident they feel. All right. So again, okay, each child will develop at their own pace, and all of this development is a gradual. It happened slowly, okay, little by little. So the earliest stage of play are very important, are very crucial, because usually the earliest stage are the foundation to the later stage. So the earliest stage is what will help to build the foundation for a more complex skills later on. Okay, so us as the educator, it is our job to watch on how children play. Okay, then we should plan the activity that match with their current stage and gently encourage them to interact with each other. Okay, therefore it will help to um, nurture children development as a whole holistically. Okay, and also important for us to remember that it is a very crucial, okay, for us as the adult not to push them into playing together before the children are actually ready. It's not necessarily for us to push them make friends to share, okay, because again children will move from one stage to another stage gradually, okay, and at their own pace. Okay, therefore important for us to remember, okay, not to push the children into playing together before they ready, okay, because again, each child develop at their own pace, and they will definitely get there at their own time, as long as all are within their expected milestone. Okay, all right, so teachers, that will be all for our topic this time. I shall be seeing you all inshallah on our next unit. That's all from me. Thank you for watching, everyone. Assalamualaikum. Bye.